Hi, everyone, and welcome to Ring Ready Live, the home of the owner handler, brought to you by Showsite Magazine. I'm Dan Sayers with Showsite, here for episode 50 of Ring Ready Live with Lee Whittier, the dog show mentor. Hi, Lee. How are you today?
Hey there, Dan. I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
We are
Happy about
happy
our
to.
topic.
Yes, today, Lee, we are going to be asking the question, do you give up just when you're about to succeed? So I know that none of our viewers are quitters, but I know that if you've been showing dogs long enough, you may have had the inclination maybe to throw in the towel. And we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to want to give up, but of course, how do we persevere through those feelings? Because as often as not, right about when we're ready to quit, things can happen magically, it seems. So I want to welcome everyone to episode 50 of Ring Ready Live. Let us know who you are, where you're from, tell us your breeds, and let us know how close you've ever come to giving up, and tell us your story. We have stories that we're going to share as well. But Lee, before we get started with today's show, how are things with Dog Show Mentor? What's going on? I know that you've got classes in the works. Tell us a little bit more about what's
I
happening.
I do. I have the uh, signature blue ribbon blueprint, and I've ramped it up a little bit, and we'll be starting tonight at 5 Pacific, and for the next 3 Wednesdays. So today and 2 more, 5 o'clock Pacific. To sign up, check out the chat. There'll be a link in the chat. And if you're a member of the Dog Show Mentor Owner Handlers Facebook group, you get a 10% discount. So go there. Don't forget to sign up, because if you don't sign up today, then it'll close. So please do. I'd love to have you there.
Well, I hope that all of you will join Lee and the other Dog Show Mentor members tonight. It's going to be a fun show, no doubt. You're going to learn, you're going to be inspired, and you're going to learn not to give up. Whatever your goals are, you're going to feel motivated to continue on if you join Lee. Lee, you mentioned Blue Ribbon Blueprint. That is exclusive to Dog Show Mentor. Would you mind just reminding folks what is Blue Ribbon Blueprint?
Well, so it the reason I'm stuttering is because I remember how I decided to call it the blueprint was last night I was having a sleepless night, and I picked up Solving the Mysteries of Breed Type by Rick Beauchamp. And in it, he talks about the the standard being the blueprint for the dog. And so for me, I thought, well, why not have a blueprint for the owner handler? And that's how it started to evolve and take shape. And so it's a 3-part blueprint for the owner handler on how to win more in the ring. Pretty simple, 3 easy steps.
And this is what you do so well, Lee. You break down what we as exhibitors, as owner handlers, often feel to be complicated and overwhelming. And you sort of, as Rick Beauchamp does in his book, you whittle everything down to its essence. He found 5 mysteries and you found 3 easy steps. I mean, all of us are so fortunate that we have folks like you, like Rick, through his books to help us to navigate this world that can seem so overwhelming, so confusing at times, often to the point where we want to kind of throw in the towel and say, is this really for me? Or is this dog really got what it takes? That saying, Lee, that we've all grown up hearing, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That at its core is a motivational saying, and I learned that that was penned by an educator to inspire school children to do their homework, which I didn't know until I learned. And I realized, we are all students of our breeds, of purebred dogs, of the sport of dogs. We also need to do our homework. And that sometimes, when we're having a difficult problem, we kind of just want to say, oh, I'll take the failing grade and, move on. But you and I were talking
Whoever
earlier.
said that?
Well, you and I were talking earlier, and I want to tell everyone that Lee Whittier says there are no quitters.
There
We
are
do
no
not quit.
quitters.
We do not give up. We do not throw in the towel. We may want to. We may feel as though it's our only choice, but we don't do that, do we, Lee?
Mm-mm.
Mm,
No, we do not.
we do not.
Not if not if you're a real dog person.
Yeah. That's a good point. If you go to a dog show, you see these folks and you've seen them for years and years, and you realize they've often had roadblocks. They've often felt like giving up, but 40, 50, 60 years on in some cases, they're still at the show. I think at our core, we as a people really are, we're not quitters, are we? We're tenacious people.
I have seen dog show people overcome what seemed to be insurmountable issues, either with dogs, having to start over with a breeding program, or perhaps starting over with a new team.
Mm,
Maybe they had a small group of people who they were working with, and for some reason that team fell apart. They had to start all over. There are a lot of reasons why things don't always go our way. And what we have to do in the end is to say, okay, is this important to me? And if it is important to me, then how am I going to do it? What kind of approach am I going to have this time that's going to keep me going? That's going to be something that I can really accomplish. So I think that there's that aspect of having to pivot, and that's sort of a relatively new word, although we've certainly been doing it for a long time, but we're calling it now what it really is pivoting. We're turning on a dime. Remember, we had horses that would turn on a dime. Well, now we do it. We've learned how to make what was difficult and create a simple plan that we can use to have success.
and that simple plan, if I may, is found in the Dog Show Mentor Program. I know that, for having spent 50 weeks now in conversation with you, and all of us who join Ring Ready Live each week benefit from the conversations, from the consultations as well. So before we go any further, may I just say hello to Sharon and Sherry. Rageshwar is joining us from California. Ginger's here. Ray is here. Julie is here as well. So welcome all of you. Let us know if you've ever come close to giving up. Has there ever been a dog or an event or just a team, a partnership maybe, that you felt like, this is just, yeah, I just want to give up. Have you given up or have you pivoted, as Lee said? I love that word, Lee, and we've used that previously on our show. But the sense of, hearing the message from you, Lee, don't we don't give up. You don't give up.
Well,
It's just
yeah.
not in the cards, so to
Well,
speak.
it's not. And a dog show mentor, what we say is, without grit, we'd quit.
Uh, well, grit is one of the cores of the Dog Show Mentor
It really
program,
is.
and
We consider it a core value, even though
yeah,
it's really not a value in itself, but you've got to have grit or you quit.
yeah. Well, now I think I understand why you chose grit. That it does have to do with perseverance and just pivoting, even, and just having that stick to itiveness that everyone who shows dogs develops. And I think that it probably starts with belief in our dog, or our love
Yeah.
for our breed, and our love of the sport and the people who participate in it. I know that that is often the motivator to keep me going. All of those things motivate me when I may feel like throwing in the towel, which I don't do. But but I have to admit, Lee, that sometimes, you just think, oh, is this ever going to come together? How do you instruct? How would you tell everyone who's listening today when they're at that point, let's say with their dog, where they think, oh, is she ever going to use her ears or gait with her head up, or are we ever going to become that partnership that we are striving to become? What do you tell folks when they feel like, is this, I'm gonna quit. Next Westminster, that's the last show, or the specialty's got, next weekend show is it. What would you say?
Honestly, if somebody really wants to quit, they're going to quit, and
Mm,
and I don't have much to say about it. And they may have their own private reasons for it, that I know nothing about, so I have to honor that. Um, I always want people to stay in this sport who have something positive to give. So if I'm having a conversation with someone and they say, I'm just ready to quit, that person was mean to me,
hmm,
like, or I just can't win a ribbon. I I ask them, you know, and then what? What will they do now? And I think it gets them thinking of what other activity they would quite enjoy as much as being with their dog, showing their dog, and having fun with all the other people who are in their lives, all the positive people who are surrounding them, the people who love them. Maybe it's their puppy buyer, or maybe it's their husband or wife. I mean, there are a lot of different people in the sport who do appreciate you. There are many dogs, there are many breeds. So if, you know, look, as I outed myself, I was reading at 3 o'clock in the morning Rick's book, and one of the things that he said was that, um, we as breeders and exhibitors, um, have a choice about how we want to approach our dogs. And if we have a dog that's not winning, then we have to look at that dog. If we have the top 10 experts in that breed, or the top 10 judges in that group, all pass on this dog and feel like you're not winning, then you need to ask yourself, maybe there's something I'm missing. Right? So if you're not winning consistently with a particular dog, and the other thing is, and we've talked about this before, maybe you might want to look at, is this the right breed for you? Maybe you are, maybe it's a breed that you're not going to be doing as much winning with as you would like to do. I don't know. So I think that, more inspiration from Rick, um, is, if your dog isn't winning, ask yourself why. Go to the standard. What I do in Dog Show Mentor is I have, a um, a practice that members have the option of completing, which is called a spotlight on your breed, where you study the breed standard along with me and figure out what you know, what you don't know, and then create a short PowerPoint presentation that you present to the group. And you learn more about your standard and more about your dog
mhm.
and more about everybody else's dogs. So I think that that's really key to understanding more, about why you're winning, and it may keep you from giving up. It may not be that it's just not the right dog. It is the right breed, or it might be the wrong breed for you. So
Great advice. And the name of that again is Spotlight
Spotlight on your breed. And
on Your
Lori
Breed.
says, Spotlight is a game changer. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So Lori knows of what she speaks. Apparently, Lee, that's a wonderful tool. I think uh, I just having worked with my breed parent club on our illustrated standard, I know how informative that exercise was for me in gaining. There you are. In terms of my understanding of my breed. So maybe let's ask everyone who's watching, have you ever given something similar to a spotlight on your breed? Or could you, if you were asked to? And because as you said, I just think what a wonderful way to not only gain an understanding of your breed, but your own dog. When you really delve into the standard, as I imagine you do, when you give a spotlight on your breed, you really need to then look at your own dog and say, objectively, do you have
Mm,
the ears as described in the standard? Is your bite what the standard calls for? Do you have the movement and the temperament that the standard dictates? Those are hard questions to ask, aren't they? But boy, is it informative when it comes to, to the dog on the other end of your lead. I'd love to hear from anyone else who may have uh, given a presentation, a spotlight on their particular breed.
I found that people who are breeders um, actually go back and look at their breeding program and take a
Mm.
microscopic view of the dogs that they have, the dogs that they want to breed, and where they're going to take those their future lines. So it's something I'm extremely excited about, happy about. I've been doing it for 5 of the 6 years. I developed it shortly after developing Dog Show Mentor because I found so many people, including 10-year, 15-year people, who are really in need of really re-examining their standard and how their dogs fit in with what they were trying to accomplish.
I'm very intrigued by this, and I don't want to talk, ad nauseum, but how long is a spotlight presentation? Is there a time?
It's short. It's 10 to 20 minutes.
So you need to get right to the
You need
essence.
to, and you know what? You need to not lose your whoever you're talking to, right? So if you're giving a ringside presentation to a judge, you don't want to lose them in the first 5 minutes because they're so bored and they have no idea. They just gloss over. They have no idea what you're saying. You want to make sure that you give them something to really start with and chew on right out of the gate. And that's what it's intended to do.
Yes, Lee, if I may, I have read your upcoming article in the March edition of Ring Ready. It's wonderful. And something you just said um, kind of reminded me of some words that you wrote where, our job is to is to always go back to the standard. If we're talking to anyone about our breed, even if it's about our specific dog, we all have the standard to guide us, the standard to rely on, the standard to to keep us focused. I as a lover of breed standards as you are, reading them and rereading them keeps me focused. I can't say that I get up at 3 a.m. to read a breed standard, but I probably have. I'm sure
I
I
bet
have
you
read
have.
my own breed standard. But and maybe you should tell us, everyone, if you've ever had a sleepless night, and if so, where have you gone as a resource? Have you ever picked up a book because you've had maybe this question in your head that's just spinning around, and you realize I need some focus, or I may want to give up. Um, but now, never give up. Lee, with Dog Show Mentor Program, you have The classes is tonight the first class.
It is, yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
And it's the first of a 3-week series of
Yep.
classes.
3
So they're
parts,
running
Wednesday night. And it is
consecutively.
recorded. The recording will be available for, some time. So it'd be good if you can't make it tonight, make it next time. I love what Sandy's saying, about the breed education, webinars, and isn't it interesting, Sandy, the ones that really teach you something and, the ones that have lost you, what that says about they all have a similar presentation, right? They all have their parent club presentation, and which ones have kept your interest and which ones haven't. And I also wanted to acknowledge earlier here, um, just Mark said, my present puppy um, is maybe going to finish me showing. I hope that was in jest. I hope that's not serious. So tell us more, Mark. And I think you're from the UK, if I remember correctly. Um, and Sandy, Butterfingers, yeah, okay. Um, yeah, Diane, ringside mentoring. Tell us more about what you have found with that. One of the things that I've found with ringside mentoring, particularly at parent clubs, is that the worst thing that can happen is that that judge who's trying to learn your breed have a catalog, right? Because if they have a catalog, they're looking down at the
Mhm.
catalog instead of looking up at the dogs. And it never ceases to amaze me that parent clubs, I mean, what is the point of a person learning a breed having a catalog? There's no good reason for it if they're not already a breeder of the breed. Well, they don't need to know. What they need to do is look at the dogs.
Let me ask everyone watching, have you sat down ringside and watched the dogs? Put the catalog down. It may be your breed, maybe your dog wasn't entered, but you went to the show anyway. Have you sat down and been informed simply by watching the dogs? There's a lot of information, Lee, that you can gather. And as you said, if you're sitting next to an expert in that breed or an official parent club mentor, even better, yes, put the catalog down, pay attention, listen, a- ask pertinent questions, but by all means, listen, listen, and watch, and then listen some more. Um, and this is what is provided here every week at Ring Ready Live. We all get a chance to listen. Lee, you are always, uh, you're challenging us, but you're always offering solutions, by simplifying what seem like large insurmountable problems at times, overwhelming enough that we may just want to call it quits. And yet we have you as a resource, both here every week and one-on-one through the Dog Show Mentor program, to find out the essence of what may be challenging us at the moment, and always able to keep the focus on our dog, on being the supporter for our dog, and establishing goals that we can then work to achieve. And I think that we are all here as a community every week for those reasons, to just be able to connect and find the inspiration to go on. um, any
I
other
love it.
comments that you'd like to address here, Lee?
I love that Nora is talking about the Gilbert's Encyclopedia of Canine
Yeah.
Terminology as a raffle item. I think that she means that she won it as a raffle item. And aren't you lucky that you found that?
Yes, Nora, if you have it in your hands, or if you don't have it yet, but you intend to bid, and we wish you well that you win that. And yes, as you know, we reference Gilbert here an awful lot. We're talking about Rick Beauchamp's book at the moment, but there's so much information that is found in those pages. Um, Sandy says that she's been inspired by both of us to make a point at every show to go watch breeds. Yes, Sandy, especially breeds that she doesn't know, and read the standard along with the judging and place the classes myself. Who doesn't do that, Lee? I mean, I do. When I sit there, I'm sorting those dogs just as well. And when my sort matches the judge's sort, I think I'm just an incredible
That's right.
evaluator. And when
No
I
matter
mess
who it
up, I
is,
just shrug my
right?
shoulder and I say, well, I don't know what he or she was looking for. But boy, is there a lot of information that can be gathered by that exercise. It's fun. It's fun. It's informative. You can do it with a friend. Many years ago, we used to do that among my breeds community. We used to call it the group game. We would go and sit and watch the groups, every single group, and we would pick our own winners, and then we would sit there quietly, sort of say why we like the Afghan Hound or why we like the Tibetan Spaniel, and it was fun, but it also was informative because there was always somebody there who knew those breeds pretty darn well, and
Right, they could quote the standard and they could apply it. Isn't that
and
fun?
yeah.
And I noticed, Mark, what you said, and so, do me a favor and, um, I won't be able to answer you today, but send me a private message and I will give you some resources. Okay.
Well, Lee, we're going to play the name that breed again for
I know, I
the
can't.
third and the final time. But before we do, I just want to remind everyone that Megan is your client relationship manager. She is always available to you. Our April issue is the toy breed issue. So if yours is a toy breed, please reach out to Megan. She would love to help you. Megan is always available to talk about your dogs, your advertising goals, your budgets, anything to do with strategic advertising that works within your budget. Megan is your gal, and she's always available to you at Megan, Meegan, at showsitemagazine.com. And without further ado, Lee, are you ready to play Name That Breed? Or what's the word, rather, the breed edition?
Yes, and I think the first one that we're going to talk about, I know someone who is present who is going to guess it right away.
Well, let's see how quickly that person can respond.
I've
And
got my timer on.
tell us the breed that is known as the American Gentleman. So this is, well, if you don't know it, you will understand why when it is revealed. So there is there it is.
There it is.
Maggie,
Nice
correct.
job.
And everybody's coming in. The Boston Terrier is, in fact, known as the American Gentleman. And if you see a Boston Terrier, you know that he or she wears a tuxedo all the time, as all gentlemen do. And that is also an American breed, obviously. And it is the first American breed that was recognized by the American Kennel Club. So we've got 4 more breeds here. They're getting a little tougher, I think. So let us know the breed that is referred to as the baying fox terrier. This is a tough one. The baying fox terrier. And if you know what a bay is, it may make sense to you. I have to admit that this is a new nickname for me, Lee, but there is a breed that is known as the baying fox terrier.
Oh, I see. It's new for a lot of people.
So we've got a guess of the Harrier and the Beagle and the Smooth Fox Terrier. Those hounds are great
Ah,
guesses.
we
Carrie,
got, yep.
correct.
Carrie and Sharon, it came in almost within a second of each other. They popped up right at the same time.
Well
Nice
done,
work. Nice work.
Carrie and Sharon. The Parson Russell Terrier is known as the Baying Fox Terrier. Lori, you got it right as well. So here we have one in a foreign language, and I'll do my best to pronounce this. This breed is known as the Bello e Bravo. So maybe my accent, phony as it was, gives
It
you a
was
hint.
it might have been better than mine, Dan.
This is Bello e Bravo. Which breed has that nickname? And I think well, there's quite a few breeds from this particular country, but this one I saw recently. I'm going to give a hint, Lee, if you don't mind. I was at there you go. Oh, no, no, close,
No.
but not quite, Maggie.
Mm-mm.
Di-
Mm-mm.
Diane guessed the right language. That's Italian.
Sherry
That was
says,
my
"No
Italian
idea."
accent.
We're
Um,
still waiting, we're still waiting.
Bello e Bravo. There
Yes,
you are.
Maggie, good job.
Maggie, well done. The Spinoni Italiano is beautiful and
Oh,
brave. That
they
that's a
they
that's
are.
a
They are.
wonderful nickname for an extraordinary breed. Two more to go. The nickname for this breed is Finky. That can only be one breed, Lee.
You're
Right?
right.
Which breed is referred to as a Finky?
It is a beautiful breed.
Yes.
Ah, we've stumped a few people, I see.
Okay.
Mm.
Let us know if you need a hint. Sandy's guessing. Sandy, don't let us down here.
Yes,
Ah,
Sharon, yes.
Sharon, you're knocking it out of the park here. The Finnish Spitz. Shayna and Mark also got that right. The Finnish Spitz. Maggie guessed the Finnish Lapphund. That was a good guess. And Julie, you had that correct as well. So the Finnish Spitz is known by the nickname Finky. And then lastly, this is our last What's the Word breed edition. This breed is known as the hardy gray hunting dog. Think about
Now,
it.
who would that
Hardy
be?
gray hunting dog.
I know a few people who know this one.
Mm-hmm. The,
And the other thing about Shayna, nice
Shayna,
job.
yes, the
Nice
Norwegian
job.
Elkhound is known as
Yep.
the hardy gray hunting dog. The Weimaraner would have been a perfectly good guess, but I guess we can say that the nickname for the Weimaraner is the gray ghost. But the
Hmm.
hardy gray hunting dog is the Norwegian Elkhound. Lee, I'm sorry I cut you off there, but
No, it's exciting to see so many people having fun with this game. And we we are on our third week, so we're going to go back to terminology, but we may bring this back again.
we may play this fun game again, or maybe we can make terminology a bit more fun. I don't know. I know that you and I think that it's fun, and many of our viewers do as well. But this is a fun way to to have fun and to also learn a little bit more about the sport that we
Well,
all love.
so and one more thing I just want to say, I can't recommend um, solving the mysteries of breed type enough. If you haven't read it, if you've read it, reread it. Um, and and one of the things he talks about is the term educate versus the term teach. And I just love what he has to say about it. So you need to go and find out what he said about that yourself.
And that is a book. There is a first edition and a second edition with a different cover, but it is the essentially the same book. You should be able to find it on eBay or any similar site. And Lee, I would agree with you. That is probably one of the top three books that we all should read because as you are able to do, and I said this earlier today, Rick is able to break this complex puzzle that we call breed type. He's able to break it down into five categories. You are able to break down what is so complicated being an owner handler, and you can narrow that down to its essence in a way that I was going to say you teach the rest of us, but you're educating us in what is really the art of being an owner handler in this sport of dogs. This is something that we all enjoy. Obviously, we get together every Wednesday because it's something that we love. It's something we want to improve upon, and it's something that we want to share with everyone. Nobody who joins us for Ring Ready Live each weekly is a quitter. Nobody's ever going to throw in the towel here or give up. I think that everyone knows that at Ring Ready Live and with the Dog Show Mentor, they have a partner who is in their corner and really always available to help, whatever the need. So, Lee, thank you for another fun show. This was episode 50. We've got 2 more weeks before we're celebrating our year anniversary. So stay tuned for the celebration that will be our 1-year anniversary show. And until then, keep going, have fun, work hard, work smart, and
Be gritty.
be gritty. There you go. I like that. Stay
Thank you,
gritty.
Dan.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, Lee. And thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week here at Ring Ready Live.